Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the NDBI Navigator Narratives, our podcast designed to highlight community practitioners and researchers who are implementing naturalistic developmental behavioral interventions, or NDBIs, around the globe. And I am especially excited to have a ESDM co-trainer certified trainer Ohud Alhaqbani with us today, and she is joining us from across the pond over in the United Kingdom. Ohud, welcome.
Hi, thank you, Dr. Jamie, for inviting me on the podcast. I'm really thrilled and happy to be here today.
Yes, I want to talk about your role as BCBA and CEO of ABA Blue Light, but I'm going to let you do that as you introduce us to yourself, what you've been doing, what you've been working on, your areas of interest. Let's let the listeners learn more about you.
Okay, so yes, I do live in the UK, in the United Kingdom, but I am originally from Saudi Arabia. I've been working with autistic children and their families since 2005, with experience across clinical practice, parented training, staff supervision, program development, and leadership roles. And yeah, currently I am a PhD researcher at the University of Warwick in the United Kingdom. My research focuses on translation and cultural adaptation, uh, specialized in parent-mediated enormity intervention for autistic children in Saudi Arabia.
Oh,
I'm
fantastic.
trying to bridge that gap between the research and the cultural adaptation, and how it is very important to do adaptation to any program, because
Mm.
mostly all what we get, all the programs are built in a Western countries and different language, which is sometimes, if we translate it and give it to families, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't fit the society well.
Yep.
So this is what I'm doing now with my PhD.
Well,
Alongside, as you mentioned, I'm a CEO and the founder of ABA Blue Light. It's a platform that aims to increase access to evidence-based practices, especially in autism and neurodiversity resources in Arabic. Again, there's a huge gap in the Arabic resources. So this is what I'm trying to do with ABA Blue Light platform, helping families, professionals, individuals,
mhm.
and organizations as well to get those evidence-based materials and how they implement it in the Saudi culture.
Yeah. And
Through
that's
my
you are a CEU provider as well, correct?
Yes, yeah,
Hey.
yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Yesterday, or sorry, maybe Saturday, I just gave a lecture
Oh,
on,
fantastic.
yeah, about the importance of um, early start Denver model and how it's important and how can you see the improvement in early intervention.
Yes.
Yeah. So through my career, I've been very passionate about my work and how I want to make a change and impact in the family lives, especially like the families for young children and early intervention, how it's very important and how it can make a huge difference in the child's behavior, um, either like cognitive, communication, socially, like every aspect. It's very important. And this is what I'm trying to build now, and that getting this bridge and helping those parents where they are not finding the proper services in their area.
Yes.
Uh, that's why we provide everything online so they can have it easy access.
I love that. And I love that you have it in a way to help support the culture that they're in and
Yes.
adapt it to the different cultures and languages. And I am so incredibly excited that you are helping us and partnering with us to translate the NDBI Navigator Notes newsletter. So that is in Arabic as a resource to share with professionals and providers, parents, caregivers. It's just nuggets of information to keep you up to date with everything. And it's now in Arabic, which is just a dream.
Thank you so
Totally.
much. And thank you to give us the opportunity to translate it because we're all in the same field and we need that collaboration between therapists and like organizations because our goal is one, to
Yes.
have meaningful resources that fits everyday routine and it is sustainable for the parents and everyone and it's easy access. Like they can get anything and they can teach with it.
Online at the fingertips. Yes. And I know listeners that have been on the show have heard me talk about I went to school in the UK. I lived in the UK. Love the UK. Don't love your hot weather right now. You can see that because I know you're sweating. But how different it is in terms of getting access to care, funding, wait list. There's always a bottleneck everywhere, but more so in other countries. And I think that you probably are encountering that as well in the UK, as well as families and centers you might be supporting in Saudi Arabia. Long wait list, no
Yeah.
resources, no funding, which is why parent mediated is so incredibly, one, it's effective and incredibly helpful for families, but also it gets immediate access to something while they're waiting.
Yes, it's very important. I cannot emphasize that
Mhm.
parent mediated is very important because even here in the UK, and they have like more and more like psychiatrists and more
Yep.
psychologists. But if they have two paths, either they go private, which
Mm.
is really expensive, and a lot of families they cannot afford it, or they go to the, let's say, the Ministry of Health pathway,
Okay.
which is there's waiting list and a crazy waiting list for diagnosis. For example, for autism diagnosis, it can take 2 years waiting list. It depends where you stay and where are you living and how available are the services, like a psychiatrist who's going to do the diagnosis.
And then the wait
And
list for the
and
provider.
yes, so it's just crazy.
Yeah.
And then you need to find, I know a lot of parents, they will move from
Oh,
town or a city to another place, to another town, to another city, so they can get the services. And this is not in the UK, also as well in Saudi. We have the services in the major cities
mhm,
and the smaller cities and the towns.
mhm,
They're not such lucky as the capital and the major cities in Saudi Arabia. I see that in both countries. And that can affect negatively on the child's behavior, development, and communication, and everything in all the domains of
mhm,
his development. So, parent mediated, it's fill that gap when you teach the parents simple things,
mhm.
how that can improve like amazingly in
Yeah.
the child's life and skills.
Yes. When you say fill the gap and bridge the gap, what's coming to my mind is mind the gap when you get off the
Yeah.
tube. It's just immediately going back to mind the gap. But you're right, it is such a divide between kind of what we find in research, getting into practice, what we know of best practice research supports, getting accessibility out there to the families that are waiting. And I always think about it as this visual of
Yeah.
a SLP who had talked to me one time, and she's like, think about the 30-minute speech therapy service as a marble, and one marble is 30 minutes of that child's day. And if we support parents and coach parents and caregivers, we fill up the rest of the marbles in the vase for the rest of the hours of the day. And look how much access children are getting to support, working on goals, stretching those strengths. And it was such a visual mind shift for me to really think
Yeah.
about what we do outside of the quote unquote therapy is just as equally important, if not more, for those families.
Yes. You said it so well. Yes, it's very important. Yeah. Because again, not every family is lucky to find a service where they live. And sometimes to move to another city where there's a service provided is so hard, they're going to leave family members. Depends on the family dynamic, how they
Yeah,
live. Yeah, I know parents, the mother will move to a major city and leave her husband and other kids
just to get the
in their hometown because she wants to support her kids. The other one is have a diagnosis of autism and then to get the more services that's it's better for him or
Yep.
for her,
Yep.
other than they don't find it anywhere in their original hometown.
Yeah.
So yes, yeah. I always think about it. I love how the speech therapist say it's about marbles. I always think about it as like a map and how you draw the map and you include the parents with you in that map. It's like a big canvas and we do it together.
Yes, I
Yeah.
like that visual. I was thinking about that when I was naming the company, the Navigator NDBI. Again, navigating the journey, navigating the
Yeah.
resources the right way, that compass or direction to guide professionals to NDBIs, which is the world that I live in, that I think are incredibly effective for the very young children that we support. How did you
Yes.
get into NDBIs? What was your interest that kind of pulled you into it?
Yeah. So when I start my journey, like any other behavior analyst, like my background is like structured, systematic instructions, clear objectives, and database decision making. And after I finished my master degree, I was introduced to ESDM. And at that time, it was like my very first time I ever heard about it. And I was like completing the certification and I changed my fields like to focus more into early intervention. And I saw the magic of it, of the NDBIs, how can change the life of that child and how the parent, it's a very big role in that intervention. And after that,
Done.
everything, yeah, it's like NDBIs, it should be the first thing the behavior analyst should learn. Then they should learn the systematic instructions and how to do like a structured sessions. But yes, it's very meaningful and very you can see how the effect and the impact and you can see the change like not immediately but you can see it gradually, especially with young children, and you can see the family how they are happy. You can see that reflecting on them because they come and join us in the session, they see, they learn,
Yeah.
that we include them with us, they take that experience and they do it at home, and as you mentioned, they practice more, so the child have more opportunities.
Yes, I think a parent, speaking for myself as a parent of a neurodivergent child, wants to do anything they can do to help improve the quality of life for their child. And I
Yeah.
also feel that they want to do the most that they can do to try to help and be a part of that journey, that map, if you will, sketching out the way to go, and how empowering it is to finally get some strategies to help you connect with your child when you want nothing more to do and you're just struggling and you don't know how to get that relationship and how to get that connection, which gets us communication, engagement, joint attention, and all of those other incredible skills that we need. And so I think it's a benefit to the child, but I also think it's an incredibly priceless benefit to the families who also get some quality of life improvements with it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
very important. Yeah, I can't touch. I agree with you 100% because I see it. I see it with my children. I see it, as you mentioned, with your child.
Mhm.
We see it with children that we work with. When I started ABA Blue Light at the beginning, I was aiming for therapists to train them to be RBTs. But with time, I was like, no, this is not the need. The parents who need the support, and we shift 180
Love that.
degrees our services to provide more and more. So when everything that we have it on ABA Blue Light is for the parents, and the second is for the neurodiversity society, like adults and teenagers, how we can support them. And then the third hierarchy, it will be the professionals, but we're aiming for the parents first. This is our main goal because we know how parents they need it.
Yes, and I think that gives you another great resource. You have your professionals kind of at level three or stop three, if you will, but also if the parents have access to these incredible courses and resources and tools that you have
Yeah.
available, that's something that the professional can also access and then support that collaboration, working together, like you mentioned, of professionals get access to resources the same as the parents, and they have this wonderful foundation to learn from each other based on the
Yeah,
stuff that you're creating to keep it kind of symbiotic, if you will, which is
yeah,
really cool.
yeah. We're building more inclusive
Hmm.
uh, society. We want to have more better quality of life, not only for the child, also for the parent. And now all the therapists that I supervise, I work with, is like you need to implement and like natural development behavior intervention. It is important. You don't teach only the strict trial training, but also you have to teach it like any skill that you teach the child. You need to move it to natural environment way, like anything just related to the environment. Use different things and you can do it. And that's why in my research now I'm focusing is like parent-mediated teaching their kids numeracy. But how? Because numeracy is very important. We see numbers everywhere. We use it with money. We use it to the clock and everything. How can they use it in their daily life routine? And this is what I'm teaching families. It's like I'm not even ask them to do a lot of work. It's like 20 minutes a
Yeah.
day. We can understand how parents can be busy. They have other responsibility. They have different kids. Even more if the parent, the mother or the father are working like full time,
Yeah.
they don't have the luxury of time. So we don't ask them a lot. It's like 20 minutes a day,
Yeah.
5 times a week.
Yeah.
It's gonna make a huge difference in your child's life.
Mm.
And we saw that in the research. We did like a pilot study.
Okay.
And we saw that like parents, like when we did post, we're not testing any effectiveness. We know that the program is very effective. We're just testing the accessibility and feasibility. And when I saw how the child's behaviors and skills improved, I was like, wow.
Is that much?
And we didn't ask that much. It's only 20 minutes a day, 5 times a week.
Yes.
It was amazing.
Yes, and I think about some of the parent ESDM studies, some of Dr. Vismara's can 90 minutes a week, right, make a
Yeah.
difference. And it can, and it just goes back to that testament of the power of the parents and caregivers and being able to help them really understand like what's the right thing to work on for you and your child at the right time in the right way that makes the most sense for them, as opposed to more of a coaching model, right? As opposed to me
Yeah.
coming in as a behavior analyst who might come in from a different perspective where I'm going to train you and I want you to do it and I'm going to take data. And I'm not saying we don't take data and give suggestions in a coaching model, but it's a very different
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah, the parents become a partner. They're not like a trainee and they get training. They
Yeah.
become a partner in this journey. So it's very important to them to learn in the way that is meaningful for them and it suits their daily life. Each family has different routine and different aspects and how they are and different roles. So when we have them from the beginning, you're my partner, you're gonna do this, and we're gonna support you here, and this is the tools that you need.
Together.
Yes, you
Yeah.
can do a lot with it.
Yes. Yes. I love that. And I really love when you talked about kind of giving parents some concrete, just 20 minutes, right? Just
Yeah.
something measurable that they can put into the schedule and really target practice work on, or pushing into their routines. So
Mhm.
pushing into a bath time routine and just maybe adding 5 more extra minutes because you're working
Yeah.
on pointing to the duck or asking more water or pour it on my head or whatever it is that you're working on, that you could just extend those routines and get a little bit more time as well and layer in those learning opportunities where these children are doing these routines every single day multiple times in some cases with regards to dressing and toileting and feeding. There are
Yeah.
numerous opportunities to teach these children and to support that learning if we think about the environment, as you
Mhm.
mentioned, as this really big, enriched language learning aspect to it, as opposed to a table or a really small attentional focus of some stimuli or
Yeah.
materials. It's that bigger, broader generalization, like you mentioned, of all of this is the teacher, and we can use that
Yeah, yeah.
to
And
support.
even in the research, we included like when they achieve the goals, we
Uh-huh.
can include siblings and other family members to generalize the skills. You can use it in different environments. You can go uh, to the supermarket and they can use numbers. So in a very natural way, we just did it. So yeah.
Yes, I think that's another really neuroaffirming aspect to be able to think about the environment around us. And I love the inclusion of the siblings. I think back to many years ago, I used to go into the home with my bag of fun therapy materials and go have fun on the floor and do our work. And the siblings couldn't come in the room and they couldn't play with the fun toys and they couldn't be a part of it. And how upset and jealous and angry a lot of them were about that, as opposed to inviting them in and being able to have them as a play partner and an
Yeah.
extension of that. And
Ye-
just again, for their mental health well-being, that they also feel included and get that attention as well. So I love
Yeah.
that you had the siblings in there as well to work with.
Yeah, and it's also good because it's increased the interaction and the social interaction between them, and they keep the siblings more understanding how their other siblings, how their brain works, how they learn, and it's helped them to understand their needs and how to communicate with them.
Yeah.
So yes, parent mediated is just amazing. And if you make it with the NDBIs, it's a
Mhm.
magic. You can
I
see it.
know. I talk about NDBI and ESDM as magic. And as a behavior analyst who is conceptually systematic and analytical, it seems wooish, like woo. But I'm telling you, when you see it done well in practice and it just clicks, obviously there are contingencies and all the things are lining up. But it just looks magical because the kids are having fun and we're making those outcomes and we have this great acquisition progress and the families are involved. And it just feels like this super simple thing that happens magically, but it's not. It's so much work that's going into it to bring it all together.
Yes.
It does feel magical sometimes when you see it.
Yeah. When you see the outcome, yes, it's like, yes, this is what our aim, this is our goal, and we achieved it.
Mm.
And everyone is happy. You can see it in the parents' face, you can see it in the child house, you can see it. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Yeah. What are some, I'm just thinking culturally, we talked about cultural adaptations. What are
yeah,
the differences that you might encounter supporting parents or professionals in the UK versus over in Saudi? Is there some certain trends that you pick up on or certain areas that they need more support in one area
yeah.
than another?
Mostly it's how the family dynamic and the culture itself and the other daily routines. Because in Saudi, there's different things, and the day it's totally different. So um, the kids might stay longer in the weekends because they go to the grandmother's house and see more family gathering and the extended family, which is in the UK. Sometimes you see that, but mostly the families are smaller. There is not much an extended family. So those are the differences. And also in Saudi, we have everything in Arabic. So everything we talk about is going to be in Arabic. And um, there's we need to put in consideration like prayer time and how we include those things like in the prayers and different like Islamic um, and related to the religion of Islam in their daily routine and how which is different again in the UK you can find different religions but they don't embed that in their daily routine as in Saudi because one of the things that we teach the kids even they are verbal non-verbal we teach them how to memorize Al-Quran so they can say it and how do they do prayer and because they want their kids to follow the same religion and they do the same routine so it doesn't become like there's a difference which is here they focus more on the behavior and the social and the well-being which is really nice but it's both it's very nice how they do it but it's different between the two cultures and the family structure and the way they embed it like
Yeah.
different daily routine in their daily life
Yeah.
with the NDDs, you know?
Yes, yes. I think that'd be, and I think that just really highlights the inclusiveness.
Yes,
Regardless if you're vocal, verbal, nonverbal, non-vocal, however you want to say it, we still
yeah,
have this expectation that we want you to be a part of this really important aspect of your culture. And
yeah,
we keep that, we presume competence, we keep that
yeah,
expectation up there. And so we have them with the ability to fit in and to be included in those really important life and cultural daily routines that they have.
yeah. Because
One
this
of
is the family daily routine. So yes,
Yes, one of the things that I encountered when we lived in Albania was really the perception of professionals. You're the professional, you're the expert, you do it. Very different to some cultures I've worked in where the parents are open and wanting and feel comfortable getting coached and then doing it.
yeah,
If you encounter that as well.
yes, yes. In the UK, there are more like they want to learn, the mothers and the parents, and they want to teach their kids. In Saudi, you will find two groups.
Okay.
One, they're like, I want to be just the mother. I don't
Yeah.
want to take the therapist role. I don't want to do that. I just want to, like, give my son or daughter all the love. And I understand
Yeah.
the way they're thinking. And some mothers, like, no. And some parents like, no, we want to learn, we want to help, we want to like include everyone with us, like everyone can help. So it depends, honestly, on the family and the way the parents is thinking. So we have it
Yeah.
either they want to learn is like, no, please you do everything, and I just wanna
Yeah.
like just be the mommy. I don't want to say no, I don't want to be strict, I don't want to like give instructions, I just want to give hugs and loves and kisses. It's like you can do that as well, so
Yeah.
it's different. Yeah,
Do both. Yeah,
yeah,
it's challenging. It can be really hard to find that balance because we want parents and caregivers to do a little bit of both, right? We don't want them
yeah,
to be the therapist, but if there is no therapist in their area, somebody has to step up and help
yeah,
work on those skills and balance it with the mommy, grandma, caregiver, daddy role and be able to go back and forth. And that can be very overwhelming, I think, for a lot of families. But then the alternative is do nothing and wait. So for those families who have access to people who can come in and be the expert, that dynamic is probably different than a family
yeah,
who, "God, I don't have anyone to help me. I got to help myself, help my child,"
yes,
which is
yeah,
a lot of families that go through that.
yeah.
Yeah.
We can see it. Yeah, I can see. When I used in Saudi and work in clinics, I will see like
Mhm.
um a child. He's 11 years old, and this is the first time he ever have a service because the parents were like in a very long time in denial, or there was like there is no point of doing that, and we don't have like the the transportation effort, or we don't have the luxury of time, or we don't have the fees to do that. And now the child is 11 years old, not toilet trained, not independent, and he doesn't request, it's just like you can do a lot for your child. But
Yeah.
again, it depends on the family and how the way they think and how they, it's not easy. I know
Yeah.
it's not easy to like have a child under the umbrella of neurodiversity. It's different from family to others. Some families they will like give up and just like sit, it depends on the personality of the parents. And some parents they would like, no, I will not be there. I will find every single way to help my child. And there's parents, they were like, I will help my child. And we have the resources and we're going to take an advantage of their resources. Like either they go to private
Yeah.
and they have the money to do it, or they go find the services, which is like governmental or state
Yeah.
services, and they were moving from place to another place, like city to another city to find the services. And yes, they might not do anything, but then we will find the parents, they will like work very hard
Yeah.
for their child.
Yes, I know. There's some of the most incredible advocates that I know are parents because I don't think any professional wants that child to make progress as much as their parent does and loves them as much as their parent or caregiver does to be able to support them. And I think it's that team approach again that, so important in the ESDM that we work across different professionals and backgrounds and that we have parents as an active part of that child's treatment team or intervention support or however we want to call that, because it does make such a difference
Yes, it is.
in
It
their
does.
lives.
Like we give like kids, they give this school, they give kids homeworks and they ask them to do it at home with their parents, right? The
Yeah,
same thing when they learn music, playing piano, cello, guitar, they need to
lesson.
practice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they need to
One
do it
more
at home.
lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So more practice, that means more repetition, better skills, reminding, and more repetition, better outcome.
Yeah, I like that analogy of the more practice for the musical lesson or reading, that we do have those expectations for parents to help their children with those particular skills that we want to see continue to develop, generalized, grow. And then thinking about that we have the same thing for the goals that we are working on, that there needs to be some more practice and support. So I really like that analogy. I'm going to borrow that and I'll give you credit for it of just like
Thank
you
you.
have your homework and you do your lessons. It's the same kind of concept for some
Yes.
families.
Yeah.
Um, do you have any resources or advice for people that you'd recommend who want to learn more about NDBI, do NDBI for parents? ABA Blue Light is incredible. You have a wonderful platform,
So much.
parents and caregivers, and also professionals who can come in and learn. How do you stay up to date, or where do you get information on all the incredible things that are happening?
Oh, a lot. Like attending a lot of resources, never stop learning, reading research, literature,
Mm,
the science every day change, and there's every day new thing, a new study, and it's nice to be updated and see what others did and how you can take that and just adapt it and do it and and work with it. So always you need it's like I'm not like I'm a ESDM trainer and I'm PhD researcher that I'm not gonna look what there's in the literature talking about it. The learning never stop
yeah.
because with the intervention changed and we're in a very now, I guess, very fast era. Everything is changing around us in a very fast way. We need to keep up with it
Mm,
and reading research and seeing what others did and implementing it. It's very helpful. You don't invent the wheel, you just
yes.
take it and adapt it. Just
Rolling it.
fix it. Yeah, just fix it and adapt it to fit your society, to fit the parent that you're working with. Um, Again, we they are a partner with us. We don't give them the tools and like take it and go work with it. We adjust it to suit their daily routine,
Yeah.
their family, uh, dynamic, the context of the place they are from. Um, we do a lot of things, not only one thing. And this is what I always try to teach therapists. Like you need to understand the family background, what it's okay, what is not. Maybe what is okay for you, it might not for this family.
Yeah.
So you never measure it to yourself. You need to understand better the family. You can ask them.
Yes. I was
Always,
just going to ask you, how would they do that? I could ask
yeah,
them.
you can
Mhm.
ask that.
Uh-huh.
We need to fix it or we need to adjust it to suit you more. And yes, so again, they are a partner in that journey, so they should be included. And this is what I teach therapists, like
Yes.
always ask the parents, even the simple small word, how do you say it? What do you call this?
Mhm.
Some cultures they name one thing like different names. You
Yeah.
need to ask the parents, not from your knowledge. You need to ask the parents, what do you call that? Like in the in the house,
Mhm.
and then take that and implement it.
Yeah.
And this is how you do it. And if the parents are struggling, just make things simple.
Yeah.
Write it
Keep it
down.
simple. Yeah.
Yeah, write it in steps,
Yeah.
small steps, not complicated, no professional language. If you need to use any professional language, put the definition next to it. Give an
Mhm.
example to make it easy. Because when they find it difficult, they will give up. And we don't want them to give up. We
Yeah.
want to help them. And modeling, just record some videos,
Huh.
show them, and if the parents work, give them feedback, give them a very constructive feedback in a very friendly way. Again, there was the parents, they're
Yeah.
trying their best, they're not professional, they might do something wrong. It's okay. They're trying their best and they're learning. We need to use kind words
Yeah.
with them. It's like, yeah, just tell them we're seeing what you're trying to do. We thank you so much for doing that. But let's try this way. We don't tell them this is wrong what you're doing because that might go in a negative way. How?
Yeah. No one wants to hear that.
Yeah.
I think about the coaching again, like the modeling you mentioned, being able to see somebody do it or watch a video of a strategy in action and how to get that change in behavior that we're looking for whatever aspect that it might be. That modeling coaching part can be such a really important tool to have. And I think too, if I'm trying to put a conditional format in an Excel file and I'm reading my instructions on Google and I can't figure out the menu to get there, my next thing to do is to go to YouTube and look for a
Yeah.
video where I can see it step by step. Oh, I forgot to tell it I was on a Mac. It's different. And so
Yeah.
that is almost my go-to now is I go to YouTube first to find something for a video model to show me to then go back and create a formula that I'm working on. And it's just sometimes so simple, like you said, like that, oh, that I can do. I didn't know that's what you wanted.
Yeah.
Yes, I can do that. And then be able to see it. So I think that's very powerful for families to be able to see what to do and to find that balance of us not always being the one who does it well, where they feel
Yeah.
defeated or discouraged. We want them to have the win and to celebrate their hard work. And I really appreciate how you said thank you and thanking them for what they're doing, because I wonder how many times they really hear that
Yeah.
on the daily for helping support their children. I think that's a really nice message to have.
Yeah. And one thing is when I used to work with families, I will do it and I will do mistakes in implementing the intervention. I was like, what do you think? So they would know that it's okay to do mistakes and no one is judging. We're here to learn.
Yeah.
And also, we did conduct a study I was a part of with a team. We did parent modeling. Parent will observe other parents, how they implement the intervention.
Okay.
And the results was the parent, the observer parent, learned as the parent was like we give them the feedback and everything and the modeling because they were there step by step and observing how the other parent is implementing the intervention and they are hearing our feedback and the way how they implement it. And then where they came their role to implement where they could after the observation for a few weeks they did it really good and they implemented correct because they've been a very good observer and they learned from the other parent.
Yeah, multiple exemplars. Is that
Yeah,
study out, like published that we
yeah,
can
yeah,
read
yeah.
it? Okay,
I,
I'm going to get that link from you and I want to put that for people who I want to read it. And then for your listeners who also want to look into it, that's a really cool extension of parent coaching, working together, having a community, learning from one another. I think that's fantastic. And I don't know a lot of those studies that exist. So that just makes me start thinking about the rabbit hole that I'm going to go down to learn more about this because I don't know that many that come to my mind, and I'm sure they're out there. That's a really
yeah,
great idea. There they go. The wheels are spinning. I
yeah,
can just
like
think,
peer, how we teach kids, like peer mediated, how you
yeah,
teach. It's like the same thing, parent mediated. So there's another parent will help another parent.
yeah,
And this is what we want to build, a
yeah,
society that help each other.
yeah. Full of resources and tools
Yeah.
to do it together because they have what they need. Oh, this has been incredible. I love this conversation with you. If there was one thing that you would encourage people to do when supporting parents or caregivers, parent mediated, what would that be? I know there's a lot of things.
Yeah, there's a lot. Be patient.
Yeah,
Remember that they are parents and always be kind to them
yeah,
because we want them to be always motivated because when we lose the motivation, the child loses the intervention and
yeah.
that
That's
will
very
impact,
powerful.
yeah, that will negatively impact on the child's skills and development. So we always need to be kind, even though if the parents are not,
Yeah,
if they are rude, we need to understand their state of mind.
yeah.
Again,
There's
they
a
have
lot.
a kid that there is a need. We don't know what the stress they are under. We need to be more compassionate, more empathetic to understand. And we want to help them,
Yeah.
to help their child.
Yes, I love it. I love how you talked about, I always talk about motivation matters for the children. And just as much as what you just said, if the parent loses the motivation, that could be the intervention that is a loss. And that could be a big detriment. So being able to help parents stay motivated and stay the course and get that reinforcement for their behaviors is something that I think we can all do and do better at. So I love it. Thank you for your parting words of wisdom to be patient and be kind and to listen and to keep that motivation going. This has been such an incredible conversation with you, Ahood, and I'm really, really thankful for your time and sharing your insights.
I'm so happy to be here today with you, and I really love the work that you're doing. And I'm learning a lot when we do the translations. Like, yes, we need to do that.
Well,
And I love how we collaborate as ESDM trainers or like behaviors in the field because we want to support each other to
yeah,
support more the society. So thank you for including me and inviting me in the podcast.
absolutely. It's been wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.